Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something really important. How do you take a brilliant AI idea and actually make it work in the real world? We're breaking it all down into 5 key steps that turn a concept into real impact.
All right, so first, let's talk about a huge problem, something that trips up so many companies. It's called the AI production gap. You've probably heard this story before, right? A data scientist builds this incredible AI model. It works perfectly on their machine, in the lab, but the moment you try to plug it into your actual live business, poof, it just falls apart. Why on earth does this happen so often? Well, the solution, or at least a huge part of it, is a discipline called MLOps. And honestly, this is a total game changer. The best way to think about it is like building an assembly line for your AI. It's the bridge that connects the creative, experimental world of data science with the super reliable, hardcore needs of IT operations. Okay, so how do you actually build this AI assembly line? Well, we're not just going to talk theory. We're going to look at a real-deal blueprint as our guide. The Industrial Machine Learning for Enterprises, or IML4E framework. What's so cool about this is that it's a super structured approach. You can see it's all organized into these distinct layers. This isn't about just throwing a bunch of fancy tools at the problem. No, this is a systematic process, a blueprint for building a solid AI capability from the ground up. So you've got your high-level methods, the specific tools and techniques you'll use, and the actual tech platform underneath it all. But you know what? We're going to cut right to the chase. We're going to focus on the 5 practical steps that bring this whole framework to life. This is the real heart of it. All right, let's dive in. We're about to walk through the 5 core steps for building and running a machine learning system. This is literally the assembly line for AI. Think of this diagram as our roadmap for the journey. We're going to follow this path right from the very top, starting with the business idea, and follow it all the way down through development and integration until we get to a live, monitored system at the bottom. Okay, step 1, and this is so important. Before a single line of code gets written, before anyone even looks at the data, you have to nail this, deeply understanding the business problem you're trying to solve. The whole goal here is to take a fuzzy business idea and make it crystal clear. What does success actually look like? What are the key metrics? Because let's be real, what's the point of building a technically perfect model that solves the completely wrong problem? This first step makes sure everyone is aiming at the exact same target. All right, so once we know what we're building, we can move to step 2. This is where the magic really starts to happen, where data science and engineering come together to build the actual machinery for our assembly line. Now look, this phase isn't just about finding one good model. It's about building a repeatable, automated system for producing them. You're not just making a one-off, artisanal prototype. You're building the factory that can crank out great AI reliably and at scale. So our factory is built. The assembly line is ready. Step 3, it's time to flip the switch and actually manufacture our product, the AI model itself. This step is all about execution. That pipeline we built in step 2 kicks into gear. It automatically preps the data, trains the model, and runs a ton of rigorous quality checks. What comes out the other end is a high-quality, fully validated model that's officially ready for the real world. Okay, so we've got this shiny new model. Fantastic, but a model just sitting on a server is, well, it's pretty useless on its own, right? The next step is to actually integrate it into a larger system so people can use its intelligence. This is where the model becomes part of a real application. It gets connected to live data streams, to user interfaces. This is the crucial step that transforms a piece of math into a tangible product or service that people actually use. And that brings us to our final step. Now, once the system is live, you might think the job's over, but in a lot of ways, it's actually just getting started. See, the world is always changing. Data changes, customer behavior changes, so you have to be constantly watching your model's performance to make sure it's still accurate and reliable. This is your continuous quality control. It's how you catch problems like model drift before they start to impact the business. So you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of steps. And you're right, but there's a huge payoff. Following this systematic process unlocks some incredibly powerful capabilities. For one, you get automated model training. You can retrain and optimize models without a ton of manual work, which makes your whole process way faster and much more consistent. Second, you can track model performance in real time. This means you can spot issues the moment they pop up, long before they turn into critical business problems. And third, it creates a shared, transparent process. This breaks down the silos between your data scientists, your engineers, and your business teams, so everyone can collaborate way more easily. Now, following all these steps, it's a journey, not a destination. And different organizations are going to find themselves at different points along this path.
This maturity framework is a brilliant way to think about it. It helps organizations figure out where they are today and what they need to work on next. You see, MLOps isn't just a switch you flip on, it's a set of practices you improve over time. And the difference between the beginning and the end of this journey is just stark. You go from level 0, where every single release is a manual, one-off project, to level 4, where you have a fully automated pipeline that continuously deploys new, better models safely and efficiently.
And this leaves us with a final thought. In a world that's relying more and more on AI for really critical decisions, having a disciplined, step-by-step process isn't just a best practice anymore, it's quickly becoming a necessity.